Hi everyone, Harry here to talk about Donald Trump's latest in a long string of efforts to delay proceedings before Judge Chutkan. All right, recall where we are now. So the big event is Chutkan's attempt to decide basically chapter and verse of what evidence is permissible and what evidence is impermissible in the January 6th case under the Supreme Court's immunity decision, right? We know that Smith has done a superseding indictment, which cleaves off a whole chapter in the multi-part story in response to the Supreme Court's immunity opinion. Also some sub-chapters, you could say, but still tries very hard to keep Mike Pence in the game. But that's happening now, and Trump has to respond to it. At the same time, there are other motions, including motions that Trump has just brought to dismiss the case for the same, I think you could call it fair-cocked or half-baked reason that he was able to persuade Judge Eileen Cannon to dismiss the case in Mar-a-Lago based on a supposed absence of authority for Jack Smith's appointment. That issue is now up before the 11th Circuit. Anyway, he comes in now and asks for a delay and pushing things back and all the briefing to about the end of the year for various motions. And what's the reason? The hurricane. So somehow the hurricane has, in addition to the onerous deadlines and everything that's going on at the same time, but really we now have the hurricane because those disruptions have frustrated that goal. Certain counsel have had their lives at least somewhat inconvenienced, if not upended. And not to mention, we have very complex issues involving immunity and discovery and the like. So we have his exploiting the hurricane to get a few more weeks and maybe the end of the year. Now, you might ask, he's won his main victory, mainly with the huge assist from the U.S. Supreme Court, which held the immunity decision for some 9 months and now has prescribed a process that's going to take much more time. But why does he want to wait now and push things back? We knew before he never saw an opportunity for delay that he didn't like, but that was in the context of an ongoing battle to get over the hump of the election. Why is he still in this reflexive mode? Well, you could say perhaps the attorneys are not very efficient and, like some attorneys, sort of dilatory, and it always comes close to the deadline and they take it wherever they can. Maybe. But these are actually the attorneys here, Todd Blanche and John Lauro, have been pretty solid. So the other hypothesis out there, and I'll just serve it up, is that Trump envisions that the election day itself won't be the end of the big fighting, and that he is preparing for the prospect of, even the likelihood of, and we talked about this in other YouTubes, a big, messy fight in the wake of the election. And if that is what's happening, you would prefer both not to be distracted, but also because, in a sense, the election still remains open and ongoing, not to be forced to have the reckoning of this motion work in the DC trial court, because if he's for a few reasons, one, public appearance and not having bad sounding information come to light, but more to the point, if he's down but he's fighting, he hopes if he wins that he can then make the whole case go away, as indeed he can. So it's, let's say he's let's say he's lost on Tuesday, but he fights it in this completely unscrupulous manner that is a signature of Donald Trump. If he can emerge somehow victorious at the end there, then this whole case will go away. So the one thing I can mention that seems consistent with his still trying to delay at every turn is maybe it suggests that he's at least factoring in the possibility of a fight, and a fight he wins, to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, steal the election from Kamala Harris the way he unsuccessfully tried to steal it from Joseph Biden, and have the dates held in abeyance so that if he is able to upend the results of the election, he can just, as he said himself, fire Jack Smith in 2 seconds, order the Department of Justice to just dismiss the case. Something, by the way, he would have the power to do. It's not a question of whether he has the power. You can see that other presidents, say Joe Biden, don't act that way. Joe Biden could have just dismissed the Hunter Biden case, for example. And is there any question but that Trump would do it as against, say, a Donald Trump Jr.? But that's just because we assume his acting in his own interests, contrary to the take care responsibilities that are the most defining lookout for a president. But anyway, we just know he's been basically placing all his chips for some time on winning election, and that's the way to defeat these cases. So the fact that he's still pushing for delays suggests that he's considering that the effort to win will, in his case, very possibly go past, even far past Election Day, as he made happen in 2020. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.